a lot of money.
Somebody in front of us would say.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Today is Thursday, September 28th. It's 12 noon, and I'd call this meeting of the New Shoreham Town Council to order. Thank you all for coming, by the way. So let's see, how do I start? I think everybody has had the same experience with this Harborside Inn fire. It's, you know, whatever all of our collective trauma associated with this, we get a new piece of news almost every day that makes us realize how lucky we were that night. You know, as a result of some of the press coverage over the weekend, I asked Millie to schedule this so that we could, I know that the five of us, unfortunately, Sven couldn't make it today, but the five of us have that same feeling about that fire. Today, or last night, it was made clear to me that both the Attorney General and the Fire Marshal's office are engaged in investigation. I have to say, from the island's perspective, the State Fire Marshal's office has been, over the years, extraordinary to us, have a relationship with our fire department that is really incredible. Whenever we call upon the Fire Marshal's office, they're here. They're here on their own. They're here. You know, they have been terrific to us. And I got a call this morning indicating that one of the TV stations ran a news story saying that the Block Island Town Council was seeking an investigation into the Fire Marshal's office, and that actually wasn't. I don't know where that came from. It was not what anybody said. If you look on Clerkbase, it was not at all what we were talking about. So anyway, having the news that the Attorney General has now engaged, that the Fire Marshal is engaged, I don't think that there's a need for the council to send a letter the way that I did early in the week when this was on. However, you know, Martha had, I think, a really important idea, which is that we write to both organizations to ask that the town be kept apprised of any developments, because to date, frankly, what we know is what we've read in the paper in quotes from a report we haven't seen. So anyway, Martha, I don't know if you want to follow up on that, but
no, that was actually kind of from the get-go. My original response was but the state is doing this, and I really don't like to be reacting to what's in the paper. I know the Journal reporter. I have a good relationship with her. She used to work for Block Island Times. So I'm not questioning the reporter. I just felt like we weren't getting direct information. No matter how good the reporter is, it's not going to be complete. And I don't want us to be having a knee-jerk reaction to something that's in the paper when we don't have the complete report. It's probably going to take a while. See what happens, see how it falls out. I think it would be silly to ask for parallel investigation, but for the same issues and same.
Now, when we scheduled this meeting, the Attorney General had not yet made that announcement. So, you know, I'm not going to apologize for the council being concerned and engaged.
But I think that does point out a much broader problem that we have in governance, and that is the very well-intended, very well-meaning open meetings laws.
Yes. Yes, yeah, because it would have been nice to have this on Monday, right? So anyway, I don't know whether that, I just wanted to open with that and first of all, dispel any notion that we were sort of trying to chew the leg off the fire marshal here. I think this is based upon what we know, something that really demands the kind of investigation that I think is actually occurring. And would people like me to write that letter to, or Marianne to write that letter, just saying, please keep us apprised of any developments? Does that make sense?
I'd like to have it on record, and I'd like to have it on record, and I think it need just be a very simple pro forma. We want to keep us in the loop.
Great,
We don't
Sure.
want to be reading about it in paper.
great.
It's-
We'll draft that and CC the council on it as we move forward. Now, item number 2, I think all 4 of us and certainly firefighters in the community were told that there was gasoline being stored on site. This is not a situation where there's, a notice of violation or an action again. It's just, I think, and we have it on our next agenda on Monday. I do think we need to look as a town at things like gasoline storage in downtown and what requirements, because gas storage in town is prohibited under chapter 5.
Excuse me, that's not just in town, is it?
No, it's not. I was just since this occurred in town and the moped
I know,
licenses are in
but
town.
I think the biggest fires we've had have been across Beacon Hill and the like.
Mhm.
It's an island-wide thing. I think that's what's really important when we look at that ordinance.
Yes.
Because it's an old ordinance. I don't know. I did not look it up. It was there when they were codified in 1989, so it was done before that.
Right.
And the world has changed since then. I think the whole thing, like all of our ordinances, we have to actually read them.
Right. For example, Chief Hobie was telling me that there are NFPA certified storage vessels for gasoline. It's really just a safety issue that I had been thinking about, since the fire. And we just have to be clear about that. I don't think anybody will be surprised or offended by that. We don't have public comment on the agenda, but since there's so many people here, I want to open it up. Is it okay if I do that, Millie, please? Yes. Hi, Beth.
Hi, Lauren.
My name is Elizabeth Noonan. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Abbott Pollock and Sheehan.
Yes. Good to see you.
And thank you for the noontime meeting. Saves me a nighttime.
The mic is on. Can you introduce yourself again?
Certainly.
'Cause I think we have a lot of people watching.
Certainly. Elizabeth Noonan with the law firm of Adler Pollock and Sheehan. I came out here initially in the context of representing VVO, who is the owner of the property where the
Right.
harbor site is, and Mike Finnemore, and the fact that it's listed as a potential violation for gasoline storage. Martha, I appreciate your comments. It's an old ordinance and there are ways to store it. I want to make a couple things clear, understanding you have meetings coming up and investigations are in the way. There's nothing at all whatsoever in the state fire marshal report that indicates that gasoline was involved in this accident whatsoever. So that's not there. And in fact, this goes into the operations of the mopeds, Finnemore and Fisher. There was no gasoline storage for the inn or as far as we know, for the restaurant. So this does have to do with the mopeds and goes back to that and a practice of how they're refilled and everything. And they did have those NFPA rated storage containers on the property.
Wonderful,
And-
but I don't think it's inappropriate for us to say that inspecting those will be a point of emphasis.
I don't disagree, but when I
Yeah.
see investigate potential violation,
Yeah.
you know, that's obviously raised concern for
Sure.
behalf of my clients. And I think, you know, maybe as part of the application process on mopeds, you ask about off-season storage, perhaps.
Yes,
Storage
right.
during the
I think
season,
it's
maybe
something
something that can be added to that. And the night of the fire, so you know, those containers, boxes were opened up. Whatever gasoline was in those containers was removed from the premises of the fire that evening. Mr. Finnemore was there. So
Mhm.
I think just on behalf of the property owner and also on the moped operator, that operation we consider was safe in terms of those rated boxes. Maybe the ordinance needs some tweaking
Yeah,
as well as a discussion during the moped licensing
Right.
process. Because I think there are some references, you know, to abiding by all laws and everything. And
yeah.
we believe that
That's why I
compliance
say,
is
I don't
there.
think this would be adversarial in any way. We just want to make sure that, you know,
Right.
we've done everything we need to do to make sure people are safe. It's not that anybody is doing anything wrong necessarily.
Sure.
We're talking about moving forward.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Very much.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Nobody? Nobody? All right, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
I-
No?